welcome to a new video. Today we are going to be talking about the classics that I read in week 3 of the Classics-a-thon. So I actually have, this is really funny, last week I was like, this better not happen, I better not only read 3 books in week 3, but hi, it's week 3 and I have 3 books to talk about, so here we are. The first one that I finished, if you guys have been watching my channel since the beginning, you will recognize this one. I started reading Sleepy Hollow and Other Short Stories by Washington Irving in my very first video, which was my Classics-a-thon vlog. This book came in the August 2017 Owl Crate as like the secondary book, and it's just like this really cute, it's 120 pages, and it's just like a little cute collection of a bunch of different short stories by Washington Irving. It's a rock paper classic, so you can see that little logo there. It's just super cute, and it took me a long time to get through these stories, not because they're bad, but just because like you need to be in the mood for them, and I just wasn't in the mood for classics for the longest time. But these stories are all really good and interesting. Obviously, just like when I was reading Jack London's, what book did I read by Jack London? Call of the Wild. When I was reading Call of the Wild, I mentioned some problematic elements, and obviously you're gonna get those in almost every single classic because things were a lot more problematic back then. Like, people didn't see a problem with things that we know now are not right. So there are a few things that I was reading this and I was like, yeah, but it was good. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The next classic I read, I love so much. This was a childhood favorite of mine. This was maybe my favorite book. Island of the Blue Dolphins by Scott Odell. I loved this book when I was a kid. I used to want to be Karana so badly. She's just such a strong female character, and the way she survives out alone and her love for animals and just everything about her is so incredible. I loved her. Again, there were some problematic elements. The use of Indian to describe indigenous people was not great, but it is a very good story. It's quite short again because it is a children's book, but it was really good. I enjoyed it just as much as I did when I was a little girl, and it brought back a lot of like nostalgic feelings and memories, and there were a lot of stuff that like I didn't remember happening. So it wasn't like I was rereading a book I've read and I was like, hey, like I get it. I was reading this book and it was almost like the first time I was reading it again. It was like a new experience and a nostalgic experience all wrapped up in a nice little bundle of book. 5 stars. This last one, you guys. Brave New World by Aldous Huxley is now my new favorite classic of all time, I think. I loved it so much. If you don't know what it's about, it's a dystopian novel. Basically, it's like the perfect world. So they actually take embryos and they grow like 96 children from each embryo, and they like grow them in bottles. And as they get older, they condition the children. So there are different like ranks. They've got like alpha, delta, gamma, and epsilon, I think. There's beta in there too somewhere. Anyways, so there are all these different classes, and each one is conditioned to do certain work. So like epsilons are conditioned to only want to do like physical labor. So from a young age, they're conditioned that like books are bad. They use like electric shock therapy to get the kids to not like books and not want to read, or like move above what their class is supposed to be. And it follows one character named Bernard Marks, and he doesn't really know how he feels about the whole thing. They're also taught like they can't be in solitude. They're always together, and there's the whole everybody belongs to everybody thing, so they just kind of are like monogamy isn't a thing, family isn't a thing. It's this whole perfect society, but without individualism, without creativity, without art, without passion, without any pain or strong emotions of any kind. And so there are some characters in this book that really disagree with that, and there's kind of a struggle between a happy society and a perfect society, and a society that encourages us all to be individuals and to all be who we want to be and not preconditioned to be like fit into a certain mold. I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. I actually liked it more than 1984, which is one of my favorite classics. I love 1984, And I think there's a lot that we can learn from both 1984 and Brave New World. I think they make a lot of political commentary that is still current in today's day. So loved it. 5 out of 5. Amazing. Would recommend to literally anyone and everyone. That is all for today. If you liked this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more from me, hit that subscribe button down below. I will see you all in the next video. Next week is the last week of Classics-a-thon, so we'll see if I can read 7 more books to read all 12 classics that were on my list, and if I get time to read the one retelling that was on my list as well. I'll chat with you guys later. Wish me luck!